Hey, hey, what's up? How are you doing? How is everyone waiting for people to call in? How many people do we have? We already have about 7, 8. I'm gonna give it a couple of seconds. Man, y'all come in here fast. Oh, it's already a party. It's not just not taking long at all. Um, I didn't even announce we were gonna be on here. I usually like to say it's going to be a short one or it's not going to be a short one, but I'm not going to bother. Just going to let whatever happens happens. Hey, Max Brown, how's it going? How you feeling? Yeah, I wanted to talk about the title of this one is Dance Dance Revolution, and the title is very deliberate because a lot of these people be dancing for no reason. I don't know why, but they're pretending they're out here for some kind of revolution, but what they're actually doing is just dancing. And I don't know why these people I don't understand why so many black people now be dancing when they're supposed to be doing revolution. Like I look at those old civil rights pictures of and videos of what they were doing. They were getting dogs sicked on them and all this stuff. But what I didn't see was dancing. Maybe that didn't make the final cut. Maybe they took it out before, the final edit or something. Like maybe they were dancing their asses off and I just missed it. It was they cut it out, but yeah, these fools just be dancing. And I'm not exactly sure why. But I'm gonna show some examples real fast. Because I really gotta know. Especially line dancing. They love line dancing at these protests and they'll even be dancing with the cops. They'll have the cops out there and they'll be going down with the cops. Um, here's one example. Oh yeah, I sound info. It's Black Joy. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, man. I saw the fight for life one deep one. That was a clean ass uppercut, man. That uppercut was clean. A lot of the Mexicans were mad and complaining. And I understand sometimes when you get mad when you think um you don't like how the other guy was boxing. He was boxing dirty. He was doing some funny style stuff. But Tank, that was a clean ass uppercut. He can't complain about nothing. That uppercut was clean. That uppercut was clean. He can't say anything about that. Hey yo, thanks Phil Winter for the donation. That's a good way to start it out. Um hey, could the African. I'm from New York. My family's from Haiti. Oh, what's going on, Phil Winter? Much appreciated. Outlook, I Sound Info, Mario Lewis, JN, Max Pound. Daylight saving time. He got some extra sleep after the KO. Yeah, man. That was whew, that was he saw that opening and he just launched that uppercut right under the guard, nice and clean. And yeah, the Mexicans were like complaining, but like he wasn't doing what they complain about with Mayweather, where he's like being strategic. Like I have nothing wrong with Mayweather and how he fights, but a lot of people try to complain, oh, he was ducking and all this stuff. I mean, Davis took it right to him. He can't complain, you know. Um Check this out. This is like one of my favorite wine. There's no paid advertising or anything, but it's called Nero Diavolo, right? And whenever I see it, I always get this wine, right? But here's what I don't understand. It's got no added sulfites or anything. What is this? Blockchain certified. What does that mean? I've never seen that sticker before on the wine. That's a new thing I've seen. I don't know what that is. What does it mean when your wine is blockchain certified? I found that really, really weird. Um, yeah. Anyway, oof. Here's the first example. Yeah, it's a screw top wine, but don't be fooled. A lot of screw top wines are pretty good. That's not a big issue. Same with box wines. Like good wine is good wine. No, I know what blockchain is. I just don't understand what it means when your wine is blockchain certified. That's the part I didn't get. I found that pretty interesting. Yeah, I like all types of wine. As long as there's only one thing I pretty much like in my wine. I don't like when it's sweet. I like it as dry as possible, and I like it like bold. And by bold, I mean like earthy. I like it to taste like soil. The more it tastes like earth or soil or whatever, the more I like it. Like I'll be drinking wines that be tasting like straight like gravel. It's not for everybody. Yeah, I'm off the brown liquor for now. I mean, I'm off drinking in general. I don't really drink that much these days. Um, this was just a little treat that I gave myself with this wine. But yeah, peep this. This is some crazy stuff. Hold on. So this is in North Philly after that thing happened with the Philadelphia shooting. And yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what she's doing. These cops are ready to advance, and then she did this. And so go ahead, girl. And some people are throwing stuff. I guess they got tired of her bullshit. We're like, we're not here for this, even though a handful of people were cheering it. And then look at the reaction when people start throwing stuff. Look, she's like, oh, whoa. She puts her hands up. She puts her hands up to show, hey, that's not me. I'm not here for that. So look, she looks, turns around, and she puts her hands up, like, oh, like she letting the cops know, hey. So I'm like, okay, what are you here for? Just entertain the cops to be seen, like for clout? Like, she's like, oh, don't shoot. Hey, I'm not with them. I'm just here to clown. So you're not really here for you're here for attention. You're here for justice. Like, what? Why is she distancing herself from the people who are there to really turn up? Yeah, she's and that there's a handful of people laughing, but they could tell there's some people they're not there for that, and props to them. I can't put everybody in that category. Those people who were just like throwing shit and not feeling it. So props to the people who drew stuff, but that was really corny when she put her hands up, and it just kind of shows what she's here. And then, right, this is what happened right after. So they advanced on everybody, and they arrested someone, and it just turned into craziness. I'm sure there was a lot of brutality, and craziness, but this is supposed to be serious business. But Dancing Girl's not around now. I don't know where she went, but yeah, the whole thing kind of went downhill from there. But yeah, I don't understand where these people are coming from, why they're coming out to turn up, but that's what they're doing. That's what they're coming out. That's what they're coming out for. Um, then there was this thing. This also made no sense to me. Yeah, she's on the front line. Yeah, exactly. A lot of these people, when they say they're on the front line, you got to ask them what they're on the front line doing. They'd be on the front line doing some bullshit. But this happened at a protest. And this is another example of someone said these people come in, these people want attention more than they want justice. Like this guy proposes to his girl to protest. Like, bro, that's not what we're here for. Like, what is like there's a line of cops right there. That's the funniest part. You're watching this, right? And people are filming and cheering, whatever. They turn around, and this is what's going on. Like they did this in front of the line of cops. They should be squaring off with the cops, and this fool's doing that. Like that part was the funniest part when they turned around. There's like a line of cops. Even the cops are like, "What the fuck are these people doing?" They had to be thinking that. Yeah, I'm not sure. Was he proposing with a smoke in his hand? Let me check that again. That would be crazy if he was. I'm gonna take another look real quick and see if he was proposing. Yeah, he was. I think. Yeah, he's got like a Newport in his hand or something. Oh, this dude is a why? Yeah, homie's got the cigarette in his hand. He couldn't even put it out. Y'all see it right there. This fool. Oh, dancing in the street. Yeah, man. Oof. We're gonna look at some more. I don't get. I don't get what these people are doing. These people coming out and voting, and this happened. And a lot of white people were loving this one. A lot of people were sharing this one, talking about you gotta find joy. Joy. I'm so sick of this black joy bullshit. But um, so these people were online voting. A lot of white people a lot of white liberals are sharing this. Like this is what we need, uh, in all these hard times. And what they look at black people for two things. They look for black people to vicariously live through their suffering, to see them suffering and kind of identify with it because they don't really feel like they have enough real pain that makes them valid, it's a great scene with that in the movie Get Out when that guy, the white guy, says he wants Chris's eyes. Y'all should peep that scene. That scene was pretty heavy because what he says is, I think, deep. The white artist who wants Chris's eyes, when they're sitting at the auction that Chris doesn't know is actually a slave auction. He talks about how he was an artist and an art dealer and he made a lot of money and whatever, but he never suffered anything real. And he was talking about all these people, they're fake, they never suffered anything. A lot of white people kind of feel this kind of guilt or this lack of authenticity from not having suffered enough. And he talks about what you, Chris, you've seen things or whatever. Meanwhile, Chris seemed like he was middle class. I don't really know if he was living some kind of life like that, but the guy was kind of projecting that because he was black, that he probably just automatically had some kind of experiences like that. But he says later in the video to Chris, when they're about to take Chris's stuff, he says, I want your eyes. The guy was blind. He says, I want those eyes of yours. But he didn't just mean the literal eyes. and the ability to see because the guy had impaired vision. It was a double entendre. He wanted the eyes, literally, but he wanted to see through the black guy's eyes, as in he thought, when I go into the black body, I'm going to experience um black suffering, and your eyes are the eyes of a sufferer. I'm going to have more soul or authenticity in my art because I'll be able to access black suffering. So he wanted his figurative eyes too, and that's kind of what white people want um when they see these black people suffering or doing joy in spite of the suffering. Like anybody can be happy when there's no problem. Like white people dancing is nothing. They just says, oh, they're privileged. But in addition to this idea that black people have a more direct pipeline to suffering and therefore authenticity and character building, their joy means more because their joy is it's kind of like seeing people finding a moment of joy in a 1942 video from a concentration camp. The poignancy, you would think of it like, wow, how did these people find that moment of joy? But a bunch of people in the street of Beverly Hills having a fun moment isn't really the same. So that's why these people love all these dancing and vote. They imagine these people being like voter suppressed and finding time to have fun through it all. That's to them inspiring, but also it kind of reminds them that these people, no matter how bad it gets, the last thing on their mind is war. They're just trying to find a way to have fun, and they like that reassurance as well. So anyway, this is the voting polls on the line to the voting, and of course they make it a line dance, and a lot of people are filming, and a lot of them seem to be white that are filming. Now the black people are dancing, but the hands that I see filming seem to be white, and the sharing seems to be white. A lot of white people are sharing this and just saying this is an inspiration to us all. Look at these noble people. Oh, gosh, shut up. Um, what else? There's more dancing. Never ends. Also, in the protests, there were a lot of dancing. Um, a protest dancing too. Let me pull up some more because I'm sure I had some more. But during that first wave with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, they were out there doing a whole mess of stuff as well. In general, how's everybody doing? Everybody okay? Everyone taking care of themselves? Here's some stuff from the first wave of protests. Like that was the recent stuff with Philly. Oh, is this true? The line dance was set up by white nonprofits. Someone posted their post on Twitter. Oh, interesting. So that wasn't something naturally and spontaneous, huh? Oh, let me see if I can find out about that real quick. That's interesting. I should have known that. And I bet it wasn't just white people. I'm sure they had some kind of black blue check working on it. With oh, Real time research. So let me switch up what I was about to talk about and talk about this instead. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Look at this. BuzzFeed, people are obsessed with this video of voters in Philadelphia doing the cha-cha slide. Ooh. Yeah, I didn't know this. Oh, so of course I should have known it was orchestrated. I should have known. I'm slipping. I'm slipping. I should have. I mean, this is the oldest playbook. Um, Nothing, of course, the word joy, nothing and no one is getting in the way of our joy and vote. Just going around trying to show people how happy they can be all the time. It's the opposite of black power and people trying to show how mad they could be. Now everyone wants to turn out and show how happy they could be no matter how bad it can get. To break up the monotony of waiting in line for hours at a time in order to cast their vote for the next president of the United States, some are leaning into the thrill and power of dance as a way to combat voter suppression. On Sunday, a clip showcasing the long line of voters in Philadelphia dancing in unison to the Cha Cha Slide by DJ Casper elicited strong positive reactions from people on Twitter, including film director Ava DuVernay, of course, and comedian Wanda Sykes. What a mood! The joyful defiance of dancing in line at the polls in a F 2020 t-shirt is what voting in 2020 looks like. Nothing and no one is getting in our way of our joy and our vote. Resistance Revival Chorus. That must be the people behind it. I gotta look that up. The delight thousands of people witnessed online was the result of work being done by Nalini Stamp. I've seen that name. She's black. Yeah, so I'm right. There is a black person involved in this. They usually get a black person to be the face of it. So whether or not there's white people ultimately behind it, she's the one that's up front as a face. Or maybe she is behind it. The director of strategy for the Working Families Party and the campaign director for Election Defenders, a nonpartisan coalition to make sure voters are staying safe and healthy outside of the polling place across the country and bringing them some joy. Now, let me tell you something right now. There's no such thing as a nonpartisan um, voting group. These nonpartisan whatever things usually have to say that they're that, to get their nonprofit status and stuff. And but what they do is they're supposed to be nonpartisan nonprofits, and then they usually go and kiss the Democrats' butts and try to get grants of money from them, and they do the stuff that Democrats can't actually do. So the Democrats won't, because first off, Republicans are not going to want um black people to vote to just be voting unless they know for sure that these black people are on their side, because when black people tend to vote, they tend to vote Democrat. So for some reason we always have to pretend, liberals at least, liberals always have to pretend lately that they're just really big into voting and democracy and fairness, and that they're not doing stuff because they want tooth and nail to get Trump out. In the case of these nonprofits, um, they have to pretend to be nonpartisan to get that designation and to offer like, hey, Democrats, you can't do it without making it seem like a cynical ploy, but we can do it for you because we're officially presenting ourselves to the world as nonpartisan. Like, for example, when they had that get the booty to the polls thing, right? And a lot of people were attacking the Democrats for her, like, oh my God, you Democrats, this is the way you think of black men, that they just want to see ass and whatever, and that's how they get to the poll. The Democrats put, maybe you should do your research. This is a nonpartisan thing, and that's basically the service the nonpartisan is offering. But no true nonpartisan who doesn't care who wins is just gonna do an ad targeted toward black men to get them to vote. Anybody who's trying to target black men to vote, Same thing. There's a place saying, "Hey, we just care about people voting," and then all their commercials about getting like racist rednecks to vote. You pretty much know who they really want to win. So that's BS. Um, yeah, I did my early, I did my early voting today. Um, there was nobody there. Yeah. So yeah, that's what this nonpartisan stuff really is. So don't believe all that stuff. This person's a Democrat. Because voter suppression has been rampant for years. Yeah, who talks about voter suppression? It's like Democrat talk. Just be honest. I can't stand that. Because voter suppression has been rampant for years, because there has been so much in the media and so much out there about white supremacists and militia intimidation tactics. Again, this sounds nonpartisan, right? We figured that this was a year to make sure that people felt motivated to go vote and not feel unsafe. Stamp told BuzzFeed News. And she coordinated with this person to cover the story. There's no way that this is just spontaneous. Like this happened and BuzzFeed found her and talked. This is something staged, and I'm sure this writer and Nalini Stamp are friends, especially in the middle of a global pandemic. Stamp's work is twofold. With election defenders, there's a fun aspect, joy to the polls. So they have a Twitter account called Joy to the Polls, an initiative called God, I don't know when they discovered this word joy, but it's up there with trauma. They have run that word into the ground. Um, and which kicked off Saturday in Pennsylvania. The other part entails training for thousands of people across all 50 states in de-escalation tactics, dealing with intimidation at a polling station. Music is a form of de-escalation, Stamp said, because it centers the mood in something else. If somebody is coming to the polls to shoot them up or whatever, I don't think a song is going to de-escalate them. Give me a break. Get off giving people, about giving black people some weapons and self-defense tactics. You're gonna they're gonna stave off white supremacists with guns with de escalation music. Yeah, Gamergate journalism. Yeah, it's just access journalism. It's self promotion. Yeah, I did down ballot. Um, said while it feels good to see clips of voters dancing, she wished it wasn't something people had to do in the first place. Yeah, you don't have to do that. You chose to do that. Just be quiet. Um, yeah. So I want to find I want to find more about who's behind it because I'm very curious. It made it to Daily Mail. Um, they were talking about it. White people everywhere were loving it. I'll show you now, right now, all the people. Right. So here it is. I'm not cherry picking. This is everyone who people are obsessed with videos of voters. Um, this white guy might dance of choice for the future would be the cha cha slide, hashtag vote, you know, playwright and professor, whatever. This guy, Jeremy Saunders, things are absolutely terrifying these days. Anxiety is high. This is more important and profound than we'll ever know. Love it, Nell Stamp, Nalini Stamp, and, you know, he's a white guy. This is one black person who's cheering it. Daily Mail's talking about it. White person pole dancing. Philly voters dance the cha cha slide. And she's white with a Gandhi quote. When I sent this TMZ article to my 78-year-old mother-in-law in Philly, saying that voting in Philly looked more fun than voting in Seattle, she replied, "Gives a whole new meaning to pole dancing." And ha ha ha. And he's a white guy, Eric Sanderson. Yeah, so I mean, who was this for? Your guess is as good as mine. But Um, yeah, I'm curious to find out if the author of that BuzzFeed thing and her are friends. I'm very curious about that. The guy's name is. That seemed like such a puff piece. Michael Blackman. Michael Blackman. I'm gonna find out. Okay, so he's Blackman on Twitter. I'm gonna check one more thing before I move on. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at the profiles of the people involved in this thing. Um, Lin Manuel Miranda loves it. Okay, apparently that's always a great sign. So let's see. Bear with me, y'all. I'm just looking this up. I mean, I don't know. This makes them happy. I guess who am I? Who am I to crap on their parade? I mean, but here we go. This is for anybody who's curious. This is the first place Resistance Revival Chorus, and it's like a black choir and everything. They're the ones who are behind it. Who I guess the leading stamp has connection with. They have an album called This Joy. So we're a collective of women and non-binary artists and activists who sing in the spirit of joy and resistance. So those were the ones who are singing. Now, first, what are those two words? Joy, which is kind of a signal for these people, like we're that crowd, we're that Lovecraft Country crowd, we're that whatever. And resistance, that's for the white liberals, because white liberals love that word. That's for the hashtag resistance. This is Sounds of Blackness for the NPR tote bag crowd, right? Our album, This Joy, is out now. 20% off, and then hashtag Movement for Black Lives. If anybody knows who Movement for Black Lives is, that's that Ford Foundation, Soros type group that has a lot of connection to, those protest co-opters, that D-Ray and Black Lives Matter crowd. So basically everything leads back to the same people all the time. And thank you for the person that told me about the group behind this. I was going to stop with a dance, but this is like real-time research. In case you ever wonder like how I research, that's just how it was just done. Like I just did it in real time right now. Yeah, Joy is a liberal dog whistle. Yeah, and notice what was left out of that description. Yeah, that's very, very deliberate. Yep. That's to let people know it's safe. Yeah, so we're a collective of women and non-binary artists and activists, and it's kind of weird how it's so acceptable. Like that you can just say that now. You can just basically say women and non-binary artists, and it's cool to exclude black men like that. The Resistance Revival Chorus is a 70 plus vibrant souls who each bring something, whatever. Co-founder is Shooty Fryer, and this is their stuff.
We come together.
The chorus is a collective of women identifying and non-binary individuals.
Women
who come
identifying and
together
non-binary
to sing
individuals.
songs that address human rights issues.
We were born from a bunch of organizers who felt the need to infuse the movement with music to celebrate joy as an act of resistance.
We come together and we
Celebrate joy as an act of resistance. Are you guys able to hear this? I want to make sure you guys. Let's see.
create something else.
The chorus is a marriage of music and activism.
For me, performing with the chorus is just this instant way to be renewed.
Families.
Whatever. Makes them happy. What can I say? So they've really been promoting themselves pretty well. They've been all over the bowling lines. They got viral through that. So there's a bunch of videos of them singing places. Lupita Nyong'o tweeted it out. Blessing my timeline with these spirited voters. I always wonder, how are these people so good at self promotion? Like, when I talk about that skills versus shills thing, these people are good at connecting with famous people. Like, the amount of coordination that had to happen to get all these people to get BuzzFeed, I mean, they're good at that. And I have to give them that. They're good at rubbing elbows with people, getting to know famous people, getting the cosign from people, getting hired by people. Like, they don't really have a lot of skills, but at at real skills, but the shilling is, I gotta respect it. I respect it to a degree. In a strange way, I do. Yeah, so I'm gonna show something else. They're connecting to this. Here's what I have to look, because these things, they always change name, and it's a giant shell game to kind of keep people guessing who's connected to what. So you always have to kind of look through the multiple layers. So they're connected to Movement for Black Lives. Movement for Black Lives is a national network of over 150 organizations. So over 150 organizations are part of Movement to Black Lives. They always make these things into like this kind of labyrinth so that you can never really trace who's part of who's part of what. I gave an example of this when I covered the eight that can't wait and Obama's thing, and I did a video a couple months back where I went through all the links and tried to show the layers of obfuscation. So if you go Moving for Black Lives, this is the link tree, and you just have to keep going through everything and figure out what's going on. But this doesn't show what's really going on. Hold on. Movement for Black Lives. This is their website. Movement for Black Lives. We're on the road to Black November. Mutual aid resources, virtual events. Black Power Rising, Vision for Black Lives. Interesting. They have reparations there. I gotta give ADOS a lot of credit, man. They've made reparations into something trendy enough that even these people jump on it. Alicia Garza was not down with reparations before, so that's very, for example, reparations. Whatever. I'm going to show y'all something. And I want to show you to go on the reparations thing and show how this has become a bandwagon for them. Anything they see that's getting attention and traction in the white media, no matter how they once feel about it, if they feel white people change their minds about it, they themselves start changing their minds about it. So I want to show something kind of interesting. You have a perfect example. But someone pulled up something that they showed me where Alicia Garza was bad mouthing reparations. It was pretty interesting. This is like months ago. Someone ADOS was first taking off. I'm gonna show you real quick. Right here. Oh, thanks, Triple Rock. Appreciate it. But look at this. She wrote this, and real quick, let me say thanks to Triple Rock. Appreciate your donation. By all means, anyone wants to donate, hit that dollar sign in the chat. It's always appreciated. Alicia Garza wrote, and it was talked about at this on this site called the Black Policy Conference at Harvard. So she went to Harvard at a thing called the Black Policy Conference. Harvard, very influential place, a lot of big wigs there that could be influenced. And this is when ADOS was first taken off in the mainstream, which is April 2019. At the 2019 Black Policy Conference, she goes to a place called the Black Policy Conference, where there's probably a lot of white people there, and says current fight about reparations with regards to American descendants of slaves isn't about reparations. It's historically inaccurate and unintelligent. It's about homophobia, xenophobia, and patriarchy. Not all black people were enslaved, and we all experience racism. So Alicia Garza is basically saying not all black people were enslaved. What does that have to do with reparations? Like, what is she saying there? Like, if not all black people were enslaved, then just have the ones who weren't enslaved not get reparations. Like, why should the black people who did descend from people who were enslaved not get money because some black people weren't enslaved? Like, it's one of those things that just makes no sense unless you're talking about black people, in which case everyone checks their brain at the door, because people are just so used to like denying black people stuff, they don't really question things. And then, she adds, we got stuff to work out. Just because we're all black doesn't mean it's kumbaya. A lot of our folks are more conservative than we are willing to admit. She's bashing the ADOS reparations crowd, calling them conservatives. We can't keep building smaller and smaller fiefdoms of people who agree be the gods of small things, which again is the thing where they always accuse other people of wanting to lead and be in charge when that's really what they do. And they'd like to go in front of white people and just talk about how other people want to be in charge when they're really the ones who should be in charge, their crowd. White supremacy is not just about white people, which, what is she talking about? Just empty platitudes. It's how we've all been conditioned in society. So yeah, she's just going in front of white people and telling them you don't need to give black people reparations. And the people who are asking for reparations are actually xenophobe, black MAGA types, whatever. And not all black people were slaves. And again, what does that have to do with giving reparations to the ones who were, because whatever. But now I see that the movement for Black Lives crowd and even Alicia Garza herself, that has gained traction and it's cool, and like some white people are taking it seriously. Now she's talking reparations. I see her, so I found that interesting. But here's a clip of her in 2016, though. 2016, she said this. She said, the nation owes black women reparations, owes us our dignity. So in 2016, when it's time to talk about black women, she's going in front of places and saying, black women are owed reparations. 2019, when ADOS is getting traction, she's talking about how like no black people are owed reparations because some people are enslaved. Like, this is not a serious person. This is not a coherent person. This is not a person that has any type of consistency in anything that she says. So when she can try to finesse it just for black women and put herself in charge, she will. But if someone else is getting some shine, she'll not only try to tank them, she'll tank the whole concept of reparations. I found that pretty interesting. Yeah, so basically all these people really want is to lead and put themselves up at the top of everything. Yeah, so I don't really know what she believes, but if that movement for Black Lives thing, which they're all involved in, is behind that dancing thing, that says all I need to know. And yeah, so Lin Manuel Miranda was loving it, and again, that's another example of how these people, they're so good at getting to know people. They're so good at getting co-signed by people. I wish I was good at that. I mean, Champagne Sharks would have like six-figure followers by now if I had these people's skills at that. Actually, but it wouldn't, because part of the skills involve not standing for anything. So um, it's their emptiness and their duplicitousness and incoherence that allows them to market themselves so well. So I shouldn't even say that. That's a big part of it. I wouldn't be able to do that. It would be a whole different show for me to be able to do that. But yeah, here's Lin Manuel Miranda. Thank you, Paulo Mendoza, for letting me know about the Joy to the Polls playlist. So they made a playlist on Spotify. Lin Manuel Miranda um, um, promotes it. This lady, Paula Mendoza, told him about it. She's an author of something. So it's like just a whole chain of people who kind of, there's a lot of boosterism that happens in these things. And they're very good at networking. I have to give it to them. You know, they're good at marketers, they're bad organizers, but they're probably good marketers because they're bad organizers, because that makes power comfortable. You know, would power really feel comfortable promoting a good organizer? My guess is no, because you're gonna mess up the status quo. They know these people are climbers. They know these people just want to join them on the other side of the velvet rope. So it doesn't really threaten them to be around these people. So yeah, I mean, of course they're gonna promote them. And by comparison, you see how they treat someone like Ice Cube with the real grassroots support, and who is you know, kind of threatening status quo and what people expect from black people, you know? So yeah, we keep looking at the Joy to the Polls thing and the people who are promoting it, and it's all the same people. I don't know. It's part of me thinks it's just harmless, but at the same time, I'm just kind of sick of that being what the narrative always becomes. And at the end of the day, it's just trying to get black people to go in and vote for Biden. And most importantly, it's for the people who promote this stuff to be able to convince the people with money and political access and ability to give jobs, hey, we can deliver you black people. Black people are the currency here. The same way they kind of say, what's the product in Facebook? What are they giving away for free? The product is your data. The product is the ability to control your habits. These people, their product is black people. The idea that we are the Pied Pipers of black people. We are the product that these people are trying to traffic in. They have to create the illusion. So when you see all these people dancing, these are the product. This is what they're trying to show. They're doing this and filming this, and they want white people. So these people are kind of like staged actors. These people are plants, basically. And this is what they want the Democrats to see. Look at what we can do. We're the Pied Pipers. We play some music, and then the black people come dancing to the polls. They follow behind us. We play the flute, and they come dancing behind us to vote. So, you know, for that, Biden has to win, though. So we'll see. But I find that pretty interesting. Yeah, and that wasn't even the main thing I wanted to talk about. When that person told me about that white group, I had to check it out for myself. Back on message. What I originally, some of the other stuff I was going to talk about. Check this out. Actually, let me check the comments for a second. See what you guys are talking to. Yeah, that skit was really bad that they did. That was really tacky how they did that. They made him seem like a Trump supporter, and they said that it was because of taxes, which he didn't say. He never said that at all. That was what 50 Cent said. And they put those into Ice Cube's mouth. That was really bad what they did. What they did there. What did Chance do? I'm sure whatever Chance did was horrible. Chance's father is a major Democrat operative, you know. So I'm not surprised there. Chance is bought and paid for. His dad worked with what's his name? Rahm Emanuel, like who did that horrible thing with Laquan McDaniel. It's and one reason why SNL is in the tank for Biden and everything is because they have a lot to make up for, because they've been accused by a lot of people of normalizing Trump in the first place, having him having him host and all this stuff when he was running. But check this out. This is in July when the first wave of protests going on. Protesters leading midnight yoga to help keep mental health in check. So you go here, the playing music. So there's a giant yoga class for quote unquote self-care, mental health. There's a black woman in the front leading it, and so all these people came on the yoga mats, and I'm pretty sure on the other side of them, again, because in all these clips, they always do this stuff in front of a line of cops. I don't know what it is about going in front of a line of cops and trying to hug them, dance in front of them, break dance. There's gonna be square dancing soon, but yeah, I found that interesting. The yoga thing was very bizarre. And we were talking about cucktivism, and there's like a lot of we're gonna have a whole cucktivism segment right now. We're gonna show you a lot of them. Yeah, his pops was Raham's chief of staff, and he has connections with Obama too. His father worked in Obama's White House, and Chance used to visit the White House. Yeah, but yeah, these people want attention more than they want power or justice. Oh, No Name's mom and Chance's dad were childhood friends, according to Terry Hines. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense indeed. Oh, thanks, Miss Witch, for the donations. I appreciate it. Here we go. Check this out. So check this out. During the protests, they're doing this and putting on Instagram Live, twerking in front of the cops, right? So peep this. Let's go. He the coolest cop in the city right now, man. He the coolest cop in motherfucking Southwest. And look at all the black people filming and happy. It's so weird. Like the savages celebrating when the white man hits the shores. Like, why are they so enthusiastic about this? Like, why are black men who should be part of warrior class filming black women twerking on cops and laughing? Look. And the DJ is cheering it like a strip club DJ. Now here are the cameras. Look. What are you doing, dude? Just grinning and skinning, filming this thing. You saw these black people. This is how they're protesting. Just look at them. Yeah. Whew. Get ready. There's more. We're gonna see a whole bunch. This is they're really really bizarre. Really really bizarre. I don't understand them at all. And I don't think they really hate the police. I think what these people hate is that the police don't like them, that white people don't like them. Like they're not marching to abolish the police or defund them, but to be liked and treated better and seen as human by them. That's why they're more concerned with kneeling with and hugging them and twerking in front of them and dancing than any political goals. Nobody there is reading a list of demands. No one is there. Like they're strange going there to have fun with the cops and show the cops, look how fun we are. Do you really need to be shooting us like this? Look, I keep I keep coming to your stream and receive pain in return. Am I a masochist? You know what? It's good because sometimes people have to get mad and see how messed up things are because maybe it'll be a call to action or something. Yeah. I'm poisoning my soul tracking that stuff. Maybe I am. No, this is a protest. This is a protest. I remember this. And what what happened is I liked this stuff on Twitter months ago and I just sat on it and I never went back to it. But then there was a new wave of dancing in front of protests and votes, and it made me go back to it. But no, these aren't parties that were broken up. These were actual George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery related protests. And I mean, there was so when they were having those marches like every day. This is all in July. And I'll show you another example. I don't know why they keep doing this. So, like when people tell you, "Hey, we're on the front lines," you got to find out what they're on the front lines doing. Don't someone's going to be telling you, "Yeah, you need to respect us. We're in the front lines." And when you look at what they were doing in the front lines, you'll find out they were doing this. And again, this is what I don't understand. Look at this black guy come and slap him on the back. This part, like, I don't understand these dudes who get happy and congratulate like these cops when they get twerked on. There's like a weird breed of dude that loves this. Yeah, see, it's going. Yeah, so a lot of these were protests, and the cops were there to keep guarding the protests, and then they keep ending up making it into incorporate them into line dancing and parties and different things. So then this is what happened. This happened at the midnight protest, right? So that midnight yoga protest, that protest when people were so the wedding proposal was actually an engagement party. So then why was the line? Are you talking about the one that I showed? Because why was the line of cops out there? Like there was a whole line of cops with shields. Like why? Are you saying that they're turning the protest into? Are you saying that they're turning the protest into that? Because I'm pretty sure with that line of cops, that's not what. But check this out. So this is the yoga thing, right? And the cops came and told them the music from the yoga thing was too loud, and now they're like whining to the cops that they have the right to practice yoga. Y'all just finding a way to fuck with us anyway, bro. Niggas over here doing yoga. Tell your white shirt. We over here doing yoga. We're over here doing yoga, man. Like you're going there and doing yoga, and then they're shutting you down anyway, and then you're like whining to them why they're shutting you down.
I said we can turn it down, but do what you gotta do on that one. Well, niggas out here don't know. We not turning down shit. Fuck y'all. Y'all keep buying this motherfucker, bitch. Every day and every night.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't understand what they were planning to accomplish with that. Like, to me, they're more hurt that they weren't moved by the yoga. I think, like they weren't really there to turn up, to turn out, to do a revolution. They were, I think they're for a flash mob, and maybe they thought maybe the cops would join in, or I don't know what they thought, but they just seemed kind of butthurt that it didn't, you know, and then yeah, after that, when it happened, they bragged that they went viral, and then told people, come check us out. Someone said, "Why are you doing yoga on plastic cigs?" Right? And then, and what always happens is every time these things go viral, if you wait and look long enough, you find out the organization behind it. So then, Occupy DC 202 said, "We are still out here after over a month and a half of constant protesting. We have found a way to center ourselves and reignite our fire." Occupy 8th Street, BLM, DC protests, and I'm sure someone was able to go viral off of this, and build a name, and some people came out and took credit for it, and then eventually I'm sure they got their asses kicked, but they got whatever clout they need to get from it, and somebody probably ended up getting a whole bunch of followers once people traced it back to them as the organizer and stuff. So yeah, there's like a lot of cucktivism going on. Actually, I think that's enough for now. I want to give people more pain, but it's just going to be a lot more of the same old, same old. I think at this point, people get it. So I'm going to find something else to talk about real quick before we wrap up. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about something else. Do, 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 do. How many people in the chat are really nervous about the election? Anybody really nervous one way or the other? That guy, John Mulaney on Saturday Night Live last night, a lot of libs got mad at him because he said nothing's going to change either way. He got pretty pissed. Anybody? Oh, Robbie, you got a good Instagram post? Share it. What's a good Instagram post? Let me see what. Center ourselves. Yeah, that's a great point. He's saying center ourselves in that tweet, as in yoga center ourselves, but it ends up being an accidental double entendre, as in make ourselves the center of attention. Do I think they're being effective? Effective at clout? That's about it. Who's getting a show on Showtime? How does doing yoga help? It helps me get clout. Maybe someone have a yoga studio. Um, oh, I missed somebody's sarcasm. Missed it. Oh well. Yeah, but Z-Way. Oh yeah, of course she is. And I knew she was gonna show somewhere. Like, she was working it too hard to not. Honestly, compared to a lot of other people, she's relatively inoffensive, sadly. I mean, the bar has gotten so low, you know. Um yeah. Yeah, but let's see. Yeah, some people are saying she's saying absolutely I have a teenage son. Yeah, that's scary stuff, man. Raising a teenage son this time. But I mean it's also tough because Joe Biden and Top Cop Kamala are the other choice, and they've locked up a lot of teenage boys too. But I mean, hopefully they've changed. I mean, people have held their feet to the fire. I don't want to be a total pessimist, you know. Maybe like this, even if they win, the amount of grief they got over the crime bill and the top cop stuff, you know, maybe that'll make them kind of be more wary of it. At the same time, the first thing Biden said was when he asked him about the new protest was complaining about rioters. So maybe he hasn't changed that much. And you're still talking about giving the police money. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't see her peddling B man. I don't see her doing black men are trash. And so there's that. I don't like some of her stripping imagery stuff, like get your booty to the polls stuff. I thought that was kind of corny, but she could be so much worse. Like she could really be a lot worse. It's sad that the bar is that low, but at least for me right now, really is that low. Like she could be way more offensive. So what's the last thing? Is there a good note I can end it on? Because people are saying I'm putting y'all through too much pain. What can I show you that is not pain? Yeah, I might not have anything. I might not have anything that'll cheer you up. I apologize. I apologize, guys. I wanted to show you guys something good. Leave y'all in a good place, but nope. Um, but this was funny. Um, I think it was a DNC. Some group sent out this email to a bunch of people. I thought this was funny. Uh, let me know if any of y'all got this email. But they sent an email that said "Wakanda the vote," which is not even a good pun, right? Wakanda the vote in honor of Chadwick and the world we want to build. So they used dead Chadwick Boseman and Wakanda um, to try to mobilize black people to vote. Wakanda to vote. I don't know what Joe Biden has to do with Wakanda, but and again, the same people moving for Black lives, the same people who were connected to the dancing at the polls thing. Ashley, because this went to Ashley Yates, the activist. Shout out to her. When we founded the electoral justice program of the Movement for Black Lives. So this is something I was trying to tell you about this. These people create an endless shell game of nonprofits and moving around money and getting grants to keep people not knowing who's getting what or what's going on. So in addition to the Joy to the Polls thing, Movement for Black Lives has this other thing, the Electoral Justice Project. Um, when we founded the Electoral Justice Project of the Movement for Black Lives, we committed to each other that we'd engage in elections on our terms and no one else's. We committed to politics truly about us, our culture, our solutions, our strategies to win, which is why in 2018 we launched hashtag Wakanda the Vote, based on a movie done by Disney on a character created by two white Jewish men. You know, but again, our culture. Um, a groundbreaking initiative to register voters at quote unquote Black Panther screenings nationwide, centered in Black joy. Again, that Black joy. So, Black a groundbreaking initiative to register voters at Black Panther screenings nationwide, centered in Black joy. And they bring up Chadwick Boseman as if this was Chadwick Boseman's wish. I mean, he did support Kamala Harris, but still. Now, in one of the most critical election years in recent history, we're calling on the Dora Milaje and all the tribes of Wakanda to defend Black lives and protect Black votes. We urge all of you who are able to cast your ballots today until November 3rd. Basically, what these people did, moving for Black lives and all these things, what they did at the end of the day was turn all this revolution, all this protest energy, all this anger over Black male death into voting drives. They've turned everything into just glorified voting drives and job drives and networking events. Um, More power to them. And this was funny. This is one last thing I'll put that I think is genuinely funny, and or maybe I'm wrong, and you guys will claim this is painful too. Yeah, Black Panther's like Harry Potter for Black libs. Yep, yep, yep. Hey Terry Gaganis, how's it going? Yeah, Colonel Colbert Gaddafi, how you feeling? B. Scott said, "Can we build a fake Wakanda and just burn it?" You know, someone said, "I have mad love for Chadwick, but that movie may have just been a mistake." But you know what? If it wasn't that movie, they would have made a different one. Like these people, it was in the air. They wanted something. They weren't gonna stop the Black Excellence crowd till something hit. So if Black Panther didn't come and didn't hit, they would have kept doing until something else hit. So you know, it was unavoidable. They were not going to stop. But check this out. This is funny. Remember when Kamala Harris was doing all that when Kamala Harris was doing all that stuff with the shoes and the Access Media and the plants were all acting like it was really incredible, as if it wasn't just this staged phony thing that was set up. And I thought this was funny. This person, Dead Ron on Twitter, in September said, "Please don't make what shoes are Kamala wearing while hopping off the plane, while hopping off a private jet, a thing. Y'all gonna have her on complex sneaker shopping the week before the election." And he said this September 16, 2020. And that's the tweet. And sure enough, October 26th, this comes out. Kamala Harris shopping with complex sneakers. Now, I don't think the guy just predicted it. I think it was already in the works from the time she went off the plane the first time. It wasn't a spontaneous thing. I think they had this in the tank and were waiting, and it was like a rollout, a build, you know? So, and I think this guy just predicted something. I think when he actually tweeted that, it was probably already lined up and in the works. And all those sightings with the shoes were building up to that. And that's how things work now. PR and synchronicity and synergy and all these people working together, and the conflation of the academy, media, and politics and public relations. So, oh, this is loud as hell. Why is this so loud? God damn, that's loud. Okay, this is wow, this is the worst website I've ever seen. What kind of video is this? It takes up the whole. Can't even get the whole screen showing at once.
Democratic nominee for Vice President Kamala Harris. How you doing?
Fix this.
Hey, Joe.
Gonna do some sneaker
Okay,
shopping.
there we
today.
go.
See what she's feeling, what she's not, and then hopefully she's gonna buy some sneakers.
Let's go.
Let's go. Senator Harris, let's start early beginnings.
Yeah.
Howard University, I heard your crew very fashion forward. Sonia Lockett said that there was no sweatpants going to 8 a.m.
Never.
class. You guys always made sure that the style was on point. What
Yeah.
were like the footwear choices back then?
Let's see. A lot of heels, sandals. I mean, very rarely were we wearing tennis shoes for gym, but it was literally.
At least she's honest. I'm
On
surprised she didn't say
Friday,
that she had the
Friday,
first
we
5
dressed up Friday.
Jordans
We
when they
never
came
dressed
out.
down. We dressed up on Friday.
Got it.
To walk the yard, and and in between that, we were going and we were protesting apartheid on Capitol Hill. We were.
I'm serious though.
doing
Like
a
for a
little bit of
professional site like
And now,
Complex, a media
of course,
site, they can't
Last
even
month, you get off the plane.
format a
The
basic
silhouette that
webpage.
Everyone wears every single day for years, but it garnered so much attention. Why do you think that was? The Converse
Because
Chuck
the
Taylor.
media was
I
planted.
love my checks. I think it's maybe people don't expect it.
These people are so fake. Like this guy works in the media. He knows why it went viral because they made it go viral. They got their marching orders. He's like, why do you think it went so viral? Like
Capitol Hill, we were doing just a little bit of
this
everything.
is
And now, of course, last month you get off the plane, a silhouette that everyone wears every single day for years, but it garnered so much attention. Why do you think that was?
Why do you think that was? Shut up. You know why it was. You work in media. You got the memos. You guys were in on this from the beginning. Like, I just hate how fake everything is. Like, why are you trying to force or pretend this is an organic viral moment and not something that was focus group tested forever? Yeah, but I thought that was funny that the guy that is getting so predictable now. That guy was able to call it from September that they were going to do this a week before the election. He predicted it down to the week they were going to drop it. I was impressed with that, and it was funny. Yeah. So everybody have a good night. And if you haven't yet, but you want to, by all means, hit the $sign, the super chat. If you're enjoying the stream, show us some love. And don't forget to subscribe. If you listen to this and you like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. If you subscribe, but you have some friends you think will like this, share it. Do not be shy about sharing it. It doesn't cost anything to share. So like, comment, subscribe, share. And Ken and I are going to do a Twitch thing about we're going to do a Twitch thing about music. So go to twitch.tv/champagne sharks, because we can't do a music one on YouTube. We'll get flagged instantly. They're tyrants about the music copyright stuff. All right. So even if you watch us on YouTube, sign up for Twitch and follow us on Twitch too, because we're going to be doing some Twitch only stuff there this week. All right. And thanks everybody. Oh, see, someone had a good time. Everyone's complaining that I make them miserable about how terrible how terrible the world is. But yeah, here you go. That's good. Everyone have a good night. Thanks for joining us, and have a good week this week. Peace.